do we expect here in the first race, Dan?
I think it will be really, really tight up in the front, and there will be some of the new drivers will also be maybe a little bit surprised of how little you actually can see.
Yep.
Behind the other cars. They're throwing up a lot of water, and but it will be exciting.
Yep.
They are very good, our young drivers. Some of them are only 12 years old, but really skilled, coming from many years of go-karting.
Yeah.
And you were also driving here. You were actually one of our absolute first drivers.
Yeah, I started here in 2019, and then I was vice champion in 2020 and 2023. So I know the series very well and the car very well. So it was a tight qualifying.
And who are you?
My name is Elias Adelstam, current Porsche Cup Carrera Cup driver Scandinavia. Won Next Gen Cup last year, the inaugural season of Next Gen Cup, and this weekend I'm coaching some drivers and looking forward to some great racing.
Yes.
So we had a very close qualifying. Alex Gustafsson 14 1/1000ths of a second behind Kevin in qualifying. We had on the second row Richard Olsen and Kevin Rudell for Proston Performance Group locking out the second row. Victor Karlsson and Andreas Gadebo sharing the third row together. In P7 we had his best ever qualifying, Fredrik Lindholm. Beside our best girl today, Alexia Donaldson, at a Christian Löfven in P9. Matteo Bordes, our 12-year-old driver.
13-year, I think.
13-year-old driver in P10, and Oscar Melstig and Louise Larsson sharing the sixth row together. In P13 we had Lionel Skar ahead of Embla Larsson in P14. And then we had P15 Johan Warland, our senior driver, ahead of William Isaksson beside him. On the final row we had Carl Svensson and Jonathan Alander finishing out the grid.
Yeah, we have 18 drivers on the grid, so that's quite good.
As they're trying to form up the grid still. We have our final cars gridding up in their position.
Yeah, they're helping Alander back on the position where he should start. He had rolled a little bit too far to the front.
Yeah. Looking forward. We have 18 very excited drivers, I think. I heard a lot of drivers were talking about being careful into turn 1, but I know one driver that won't be, and that's Richard Olsen. He was a bit disappointed with his P3. He thought he had more in it, so I'm very excited to see what will happen into turn 1. It's very wet. It's standing water in turn 1, and these semi-slick tires are okay in the rain, but not the best at clearing out the water, so I think we'll see some aquaplaning and some close moments this race. As we have the green flag at the back of the queue. The 5-second board is out. 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights, 4 lights, 5 lights. And we're underway here.
On the way.
A good start from Kevin, who gets the jump for the lead. Kevin Rudell jumps, Rickard Olsen is up to P3.
Yes, but I think Rickard Olsen is on the inside.
Yep.
It will be Kevin Rudell.
Yeah.
So
it's Kevin from Alex, from Kevin again to Richard Olsen, I think. And then there's Victor Karlsson Andreas Gadebo is in P5. As Alex is going for the lead, he's trying to challenge Kevin, but it's not really making it work. Fredrik Lindholm stayed in his 7th position, I think, ahead of Alexia Donaldson in P8. As they come down the back straight now. And it's still Kevin in the lead with Alex Gustafsson behind him. They've gotten a bit too gap to now to Richard Olsen, who's gotten past Kevin again. And Andreas Katbo in P5. Kevin Lindholm is actually up to P6 now with Alexia Donaldson in P7. So Christian Löfven in P8. Matteo Bordet in the P9. Victor Karlsson has dropped down to P10 with Louise Larsson challenging right behind P11. Oscar Melstig in P12.
Richard Olsen is getting slipstream on Alex.
Yeah.
And I think he can't make it now, but he looks very, very hungry, Richard Olsen.
I think that was Embla Larsson dropping a few positions on the straight. Don't know what happened there, but down a few positions, I think. She had a good start, but now she's dropped back a bit again.
This is her second race weekend.
Yeah, very impressive. It's not easy conditions to do your second race weekend in, but I think she's fared really well. She was happy with qualifying. I think I overheard her talking about. So as we see now, Alex has closed a bit back up now to Kevin again, and Richard is right behind. So the top three are putting a bit of a gap, but still close together. Andreas Gadebo has gone past Kevin Rydell, and now it's Fredrik Lindholm challenging Kevin Rydell for P5. He goes around the outside of Kevin into the last corner.
That is a brave move.
That is a very brave move, but it worked out. Fredrik is now in
yes.
P5. Fredrik is now P5. His best ever career position in the moment. P3 out of the juniors was his goal as well, so right now he's looking on course to that. But now Christian Loven is challenging Fredrik for P5 and P3 in the juniors.
And Richard Olsen is trying on the outside but can't manage it.
Yeah, Alex defending well there from Richard. He tried to go past around the outside, but it didn't really work out. As Jonathan Elander is having slow moment on the track here. I don't know if he had a spin, hard to tell, but he dropped all the way to the back now, so it's...
I think he maybe missed a gear.
Yeah, that looks likely, yeah. As we have safety car rolling out on track. Safety car is on track. Someone has gone off, and it's Matteo Bourdais in the last corner. He's gone off
that's
into
a pity. Matteo Bourdais from France.
Yeah, it's a big shame. He was up to P9, so unfortunate for him. He was looking good. He liked the rain, he said, so unfortunate to see him in the gravel here, but can't expect much. He's very inexperienced, and he's going to learn in the coming years, so the future bright ahead of him, but right now he's in the gravel trap, so we'll have to analyze that for the next race tomorrow.
And while we're seeing the safety car out here, we can talk a little bit about the new drivers, some of the new drivers. Alex Gustafsson, who has a background in rallycross,
yeah, he's
enjoying this weather.
Yeah.
So he will definitely try to beat Kevin here.
Yeah. He was talking about just gaining some points now. He has had some mishaps in Mantorp. He had a jump start, and then in Karlskoga he had a bit of a spin in the last corner, unfortunately. So he's want to get some safe points going in to the future of the championship now. But yeah, he's definitely not going to be shy to go for the lead if the opportunity arises.
No, that's for sure. And also Richard Olsen, he has done it so well this start of the season.
Yes.
Actually picked up a lot of points. He's number 2 in the total championship, just behind Kevin.
Yeah.
At the moment.
A very impressive job by Richard Olsen, who's still classified as a rookie. As he only did 3 rounds last year. Yeah.
That's the rules for this championship. If you have done only 3 rounds the year before, you can count as a rookie.
Yeah.
And then you have, if you become 25 years old, you get classified as an old driver.
Old driver, automatically. Yes.
Yeah. Because the championship, the main thing about the championship is about young people,
yep.
Giving them a platform to learn this. Racing skills and as a stepstone into their career.
Yeah, as we see them weaving across the straight now to keep the temp in the tires. You're not gonna get any temp by doing that little amount of weaving, but they're still trying in a way which is the right mindset, but you'd have to do way more aggressive than you can in the wet. So
yeah, it won't help.
No.
Won't help. And you can see Kevin, he's not weaving either.
No. So I told some of my drivers, I'm coaching a few drivers as I said before, and I told them to focus on braking to build the temp from the brake out into the carcass, and that way instead it's the only way you really can do it in the wet. So I saw my drivers at least turning on the brake lights, so they at least listen to my advice, so that's good. That's good to see. So right now we have Kevin Suensson ahead of Alex Gustafsson, P3 we have Richard Olsen ahead of Andreas Gadebo. Christian Loven in P5 doing a good start, nice to see. Fredrik Lindholm doing career best so far, P6, ahead of Kevin Rydell in P7. We have Alexa Danielsson in P8, Victor Karlsson in P9, who did a mistake earlier. We didn't really catch what happened, but somewhere on the backstretch he lost some positions. Then now Louis Larsson has made up 2 positions and up into P10 ahead of Oscar Melstig, and then Carl Svensson, which has done a very good job, going all the way from P17 up to P12, so that's a good job from him. Lionel Scar has also got up to P13 ahead of Embla Larsson, who's P14. She's stick to her position. I saw she was up a bit more, but then she dropped back. I think also gear change mishap. And then we have William Isaksson in P15, Johan Varland in P16, Ölander rounding out the drivers that are still in the race. Unfortunately, Matt Ebord, as we saw, went off and is now safely off the track. So hopefully we're gonna get the restart next lap.
Yeah, I think so. I think the safety car will go in after this lap.
Highly
and
likely.
we have 8 minutes left, so there's quite a lot of racing still.
Yeah, we only got a taste so far, but I think some hungry drivers that maybe didn't get what they wanted in the first start will try to make up some positions this time around. So excited to see. There's still a lot of standing order, as we can see in turn 1, 2, 3, but we hope that no one will be caught up by that one when we get more speed into the first corner this time around.
I think we have some paparazzis outside the window.
Yeah, we're getting photographed, so always nice to see. As we see now, the safety car emerges with no lights on, so we'll get the restart lap. This is the lap. Safety car will come in, and then Kevin will lead the way all the way to the 7 minutes left now on the clock. So a lot of exciting racing to go, and let's see what can happen.
And the raining has increased a lot. It's raining really a lot now.
It's really windy, as we can see the flags flowing in the wind right now. With really hard.
Yeah,
they're really working these pillars. So let's see now as the safety car peels into the right now. We see Kevin warming the tires now, mostly as a distraction from when he's going to pull away, more than to putting in any heat into the tires. But you can see him now leading the way, very bunched up field, and there Kevin goes. So he got a big jump on Alex now, and Alex gonna have to look in the mirrors now for Richard Olsen is right behind. Richard also got a really good getaway.
Ooh, that was really
spin,
close.
And there's Louis Larsen has spun, dropping all the way back. As we look into the first corner, Richard Olsen is right up Alex Gustafsson's rear, and he's gonna do around the outside move. I think he's gonna try it at least. It's really close, but I think Alex actually edges out in the end. He made a corner ahead of Richard, so it's still Kevin from Alex to Richard. And then we have Christian Lowen up to P4 and Andreas Skadebo, and still Fredrik Lindholm, the very newly up in the points now. So very impressive from Fredrik, doing a massive step up this week, and he's up into P6.
And Louise Larsen has some job to do.
Yeah, she's dropped way back, and I think she'll be a bit unhappy with that one, but that's what happens in rain. It's tricky conditions, so we'll see. I didn't catch what happened exactly, but I saw the spin, and now it's Alex Russ rear. I think it's still very bunched up. I think Christian Lowen is having pretty good pace right now. He's actually keeping up with the leader trio, so good job from him. Nice to see with all them.
I can see that Carlson is making a move down there.
Yeah, he's up to P7 again after his drop down in the early part of the race, and Kevin Rydell is still dropping positions. Something might not be to his liking, but we don't know that yet. All we know is that Alex Gustafsson is looking a bit at Kevin in the first corner. He's very close now. I think Alex is actually a bit quicker at this moment than Kevin is.
I could see him coming out on the straight here. The car was absolutely on the limit.
Yeah.
He was moving the steering wheel all the time through the corner.
Now Fredrik Lindholm is actually watching a bit of Andreas. He's going to drop another position, Andreas, probably, as Fredrik is all over him. And we see another car standing in the grass, and it's a safety car, not yet, but there's at least a yellow flag as Embla Larsen is in the gravel. Hopefully she can rejoin without being too much of a trouble.
She is moving.
Yeah, she is moving. She's not stationary, so hopefully not something major that will happen here, but still a very tricky position to get out on track. And it's an uphill, wet grass, not a lot of grip, so...
I could just see that Kevin chooses another line coming out on the straight, and it actually benefited him. He went wide in the first part of the corner and got a little bit of a jump on Alex.
Yeah.
And Alex also has to keep an eye in the mirrors, because exactly. Richard is not... he doesn't want to stay as third.
No, he wants to move up and go into the first position in the junior category, of course. Kevin has checked out a bit now. He had a very good pace, as you said, in the last corner, so we'll see now what happens. But top 10 at this moment is Kevin, ahead of Alex Gustafsson, ahead of Richard Olsen, ahead of Loven, ahead of Skadebo, ahead of Fredrik Lindholm, ahead of Victor Karlsson, which is just ahead of Kevin Rydell. And then we have Alexa Donaldson, P9, and Oskar Melski rounding out the top 10 at the moment. As Kevin is really pushing, you can see go very wide, almost onto the curb there in the fast corner. You don't want to do that. There's a lot of wet stuff there, and you're going to slip out of the track. So watch out, Kevin. Be careful.
But you can see he's choosing another line than the other ones are. So he's actually found some spots where there is not so much water. Oh, look at Alex.
Yeah. A lot of
dancing along.
A lot of aquaplaning. In the dry, that is in the corner, but in the wet, it certainly is. So watch out for the aquaplaning there. And Fredrik Lindholm has gone past Andreas Gadebo now. He's in up to P5 at the moment. So he's actually P4 out of the juniors, but P5 out overall. So very good job from him. He's very close behind though still, Andreas, and he's wanting to get back up again.
And if I didn't look wrong, I think Kevin had to take the escape in the end of the straight. But just
we'll see as they re-emerge now. Coming back from the hill behind. Coming up to the fast turn right in the...
I think he still is in the lead, but he definitely had to take the escape.
Yeah, and Richard Olsen is actually past Alex Gustafsson again, so there's a shift for second position. It's Richard Olsen ahead of Alex Gustafsson. Yeah, but Kevin, so he's still leading. A bit less gap now, though, so we'll see if Richard can put a pace and pressure on him. Christian Loven is on a great job.
2 minutes left.
Yeah, 2 minutes and a lap, of course, left, so... We can see as Richard has a massive moment going out to the straight. Really close to losing it, but he saved it in the end. They are
100% on the limit.
Yeah, there's no spare time in these laps they're doing right now. I must say, really impressive though overall from the field. I'm very impressed. Like, not many going off, and it's very tricky conditions. Very tricky.
A lot of water standing on the track now, so and on these tires you will have aquaplaning now and then. We need some pedals.
Yeah, so
Richards is pulling away from Alex and getting closer to Kevin.
Yeah. We'll see what the gap is now when they cross the straight, but I know Alex said beforehand he was going to be a bit cautious and take some save points, so not surprising to see him giving a bit of a gap to Richard. Kevin having some stability issues onto the straight again, but that's to be expected in this race, as Richard has not closed up that much necessarily in the times. Gap seems to remain pretty much the same, but we haven't gotten it updated yet, so we don't know for sure. There we go. It's a 10th that as Fredrik Lindholm goes off into the escape. Unfortunate for him, he had a very good position, but now he's gone off. Watch out when the rejoin now. We don't want to be in a hazard, and he hasn't been.
Lost, so one position on that.
Yeah, so a bit unfortunately lost Victor Karlsson, which is also a junior, unfortunately for his championship hopes, but very, very unfortunate that he went off since he's had such a good race so far.
Until now, he has done an impressive race.
Yeah, very impressive. Still very impressive, but unfortunately off the track a bit there in turn one. Yeah, but Richard is definitely not giving up the hopes of winning this race. He's working really hard to get closer to Kevin, but Kevin is, as we know, an experienced driver and knows how to drive in the wet in these cars, so it's going to be hard to catch him. And still we have a yellow flag in the turn 7 fast right-hander, so not cleared up there, but nothing that brings out the safety car. 2 laps remaining now as they cross the start-finish straight. Oscar Melstig has pulled out the gap now from Carl. He was being heavily chased by Carl, but he seems to have pulled up the gap now, so a bit more breathing room now this time around, so he probably can manage his P10 position now, as it is more clean gap now between. So Kevin still having the lead, hasn't really shrunk at all. I think Kevin, barring any mistakes now, he will surely clinch this race, but I think Alex has gotten a bit of a whiff of Richard and now is closing back up again, and definitely Victor Karlsson is definitely looking at a P4 because he's right up Christian Loven. He wants to get that podium in the junior series, and he's very close now. He's going to do it.
Oh, he's going on the outside.
And Christian Loven, and it's a bit of aquaplaning on the straight, but it's nothing to worry about as they go into the final lap. It's side by side into turn 1. Christian Loven and Victor Karlsson for a podium position in junior category. And he's going around the outside. Victor's braking really late. We can't really see what's happening, but around the outside it goes. Is aquaplaning a bit. He seems
they're still side by side.
Still side by side, but I think their Victor got him. No, they're still side by side. But their Victor is passed, so Victor is up into P4. He got past Christian Loven on the last lap for the podium, but Christian has not given up. He's going on for the going back again, trying to make the move, but unfortunately couldn't make it stick. As we see, Fredrik Lindholm still eyeing up that podium position in the Junior Series. He's right behind them. He's still trying to work it. As Kevin re-emerges from the backstretch now, he's still got a comfortable lead. He's going to win this race, but the fight is behind that with Christian Loven, Victor Karlsson, and probably Fredrik Lindholm as well. They come re-emerging out now, turn 7. But the gap is a bit too big now, I think. I think Victor has done a good job to get back from P10 where he was in the beginning of the race. Now.
And here we have Kevin raising the arm.
Yeah, very happy, of course.
Happy with that victory.
Great drive by him. And Richard Olsson P2 ahead of Alex Gustafsson was also raising his hand and celebrating that P3. Here comes Victor Karlsson, who clinches the last junior category podium position ahead of Christian Loven, and Fredrik Lindholm has done an amazing job this race. Really
Fantastic
impressive. Also, Christian Loven needs a round of applause because he done a mighty job to get the back from what he was this morning. So very good job. Alexa Danielsson being the fastest girl today also in the race, finishing in P9 it seems. And here comes Oskar Melski rounding out the top 10. Carl Svensson here coming out in P11. Great drive by him. He was starting P17, so it's a great jump from him. And William Isaksson is fighting for 12th position here with Johan Warland, who finished out at P13.
That's actually a great race from Johan Warland, who is our
senior driver.
Senior driver by far.
Yeah.
So, but a really nice guy.
Yeah. And Jonathan Ölander actually finishing P14. Louise Larsson, unfortunately, having that spin in the beginning of the race, finishing P15, dropping down a few positions. That's not what she wanted, but she got there, unfortunately. So I think Lionel Scar had some incident in the race as well because he's P16. He was way up before, so unfortunate for him. And also Embla Larsson had that spin, as we saw in turn 7. And unfortunately, Matteo Borde rounding out the field after a good start, but a bit of an incident in the last corner. So we have Kevin Sunesson winning, the only Danish driver finishing in first place. Richard Olsen P2, Alex Gustafsson in P3, Victor Karlsson doing a great recovery drive to finish P4, Christian Loven, a breakthrough race, I think, P5, only just missed out on junior podium. Fredrik Lindholm in P6, Kevin Rydell in P7, Andreas Scadabo in P8, Alexia Dawson P9, and Oskar Melskin rounding out the top 10.
That was quite an exciting race. Yeah,
I'm impressed by the drivers as well, not doing that many mistakes. We have Carl Svensson in P11, William Isaksson in P12, Johan Warland P13, Jonathan Ölander P14, Louise Larsson in P15, Lionel Scar P16, Embla Larsson P17, and Matteo Borde P18 after spinning out on the second or first lap.
Yeah.
So we have more racing to do tomorrow, but I think that will be all for us today.
Yeah.
Thank you for tuning in and watching this.
Hope you're joining us tomorrow.
Yeah, hope so. Thank you for joining this exciting future prospect from Aquila and the future stars of Swedish racing. So thank you for tuning in, and hope to see you tomorrow. Thank you.
Bye-bye.